lead came in 19th. I think we called him on the 21st. We booked the appointment in literally the next day. Yep. And you signed this listing. Was it the next day?
The next day.
The next day. So this is like, what, a 5-day sales cycle?
Honestly, I've never seen that. It's very likely a sell and a buy. It could be a $50,000 commission, if not, cut it in half.
Could be so about $25,000 generated back from the one deal.
Yeah.
Most realtors think lead gen takes months to work, but Terry, he got a listing signed within 5 days of launching this new program. And not just any listing, this is a $1 million property in Toronto, one of the most saturated and competitive real estate markets in all of North America with over 70,000 licensed agents. So how did he do it? We launched our new AI YouTube seller campaign combined with our inside sales team where we generated the lead, qualified him, and booked the appointment directly into Terry's calendar. So no cold calling, no chasing, and no waiting months to see an ROI. That one appointment could net him over $50,000 in commissions. And this is what happens when you stop relying on your referrals and your sphere and start using systems that do the hard work for you to find people actively looking to sell. Let's roll the interview. All right, Mr. Terry Motionberg, aka Money Motionberg, the man, the myth, the legend. How you doing today, my man?
How dare you?
How dare I say that?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks, Terry. If you don't mind, give the folks here a quick introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what areas you serve, and we'll take it from there.
I am Toronto born and raised. I've been doing real estate for way too long, many, many, many years. I serve the downsizing market.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say just seniors, but people that are transitioning from larger houses to smaller. Obviously, I end up doing a little bit of everything else as well. So I am a bit of a generalist, and I work pretty much straight up the center of Toronto.
Gotcha. So Toronto, that's a pretty stiff market, especially when it comes to lead generation and even real estate as a whole, right? Because you have such a large concentration of realtors, and median price points compared to, say, the rest of Canada, for example, are pretty high.
It's a tough market. There's no doubt about it. It's a very, very competitive market.
Right. So just tell us super kind of broad, Terry, in terms of some of the challenges you're maybe facing before kind of working with us, what did that maybe look like for you in regards to lead generation?
Well, I've been around for a long time, and I've got a pretty good Rolodex.
Yeah.
So my database works for me, but everything comes to an end.
Yeah.
There's some saturation in everything.
Right.
So I needed fresh blood. We all do. We're only as good as our last sale.
Right. Right. It's like your last breath. You got to keep breathing.
Right. You just do.
Right.
And I'm a grinder. I'm not afraid of getting on the phones or doing what I have to do to keep the business rolling. But it was getting difficult.
Right.
Toronto is a very, very stiff market, and there's a lot of realtors. A lot, like it's 60 plus thousand.
Just a crazy concentration of realtors for sure. So in terms of
getting on the phone, you're finding that everyone says yeah, no thanks, yeah, no thanks. It's very hard to crack the code.
Gotcha. And when you say crack the code, I think that's something we're able to do for you a little bit more recently as of late, because you've been one of the first realtors to actually pilot our new inside sales program, where we not only generate the homeowner, but we call them, we qualify them, we vet them, we book them directly into your calendar. Yeah. And I wanted to kind of highlight a little bit of the success we've seen with that, because we just launched this campaign about 2 weeks ago, and within I think the first 7 days or so, we actually had your first in-person booked appointment. You went on the listing appointment and you actually closed it. So I wanted to just get firsthand your experience of what that process looked like, how it felt, and really just walk us through it.
All I can say is that it was very smooth. I need someone like you guys to crack that door for me, to open up that door for me.
Right.
I believe that my time is best spent closing.
Absolutely.
So the process, was fabulous, to be honest with you, and very easy. You guys know what you're doing. I find that you are, and I'm not just giving you kudos for the sake of it. I find out of all the guys that I have spoken to, there've been 4 or 5 marketing guys,
right,
that I've tried, and I do find you to be the most just looped in. Like you get it. Right. Your rhythm is good. Your approach is good. you're good to look at. You know?
I'm good to look at too, Terry. Well, you had to go that far, man.
I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
you present well, right?
Right. No,
So
thank you.
the package is good.
Right. No, that's amazing, Terry, and I appreciate you saying giving me high praise, right? Because I think it's a tough challenge to crack a market like downtown TO, especially when you're looking for those downsizers. And I think for us to see success so early out the gate was a pretty tremendous feat. So in terms of that experience, right? We generated the homeowner, we called them, we qualified them, we booked them in. Our team had a 34-minute conversation with that specific prospect before we booked them in. Tell us a bit about what it was like to work with that prospect after they saw you on YouTube. Like, what did that look like?
Well, that's the magic,
Yeah.
There's always that again. I always hit this Mr. Smith, are you will you be selling within the next 3 months?
Right.
And I'm not going to put you under pressure and say, did you ask that question? But
Yeah.
he was prepared to sell his home,
Right.
and he had plans, and he was qualified, so when I called him, it allowed me to do my job.
Mm-hmm.
He was qualified. He was ready. So all I had to do was just be me. I had to just
Right.
take him over the goal line,
Yeah.
and that's my job.
It was a lay down, right? You let us take care of the hard work in terms of we tee the ball up for you, and you just do what you do best already, right?
Yeah. It's that.
Right.
If we could get to, and I'm sure we will get to this rinse and repeat, then we've got a real business.
Absolutely. And I think for us, it's only been 2 weeks out the gate, but you got the listing. I think that lead came in, it was like May 19th. We ended up getting a hold of them on May 21st because, again, we call and qualify until we get a hold of them, right? And I think one of the challenges with some realtors is that they call once or twice and they're like, oh, the lead didn't pick up. I'm not going to get a hold of them. And it's like, for us, we're at our desks all day. So we're dialing 7-8 times in 7 days. We're calling them every day to make sure we get a hold of them.
Yeah.
And when we finally did, I think this sales cycle was unusually fast. To be totally honest with you, typically we see timelines of usually anywhere from 4 to 6 to 8 weeks. But this one, lead came in 19th. I think we called them on the 21st. We booked the appointment in literally the next day. Yep. And you signed this listing, was it the next day?
The next day.
The next day. So this is like, what, a 5-day sales cycle?
Honestly, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
He was willing to go. He did tell me, and again, I'm not patting myself on the back, just saying it as it is. Mm-hmm. He did say to me, I've spoken to a few realtors, and they're all, excuse my French, talking shit, and you just seem to be, real and honest, and I trust you.
Right.
That's what he said to me.
Right. And this is a great example because you obviously, Terry, know how to do your job and we know how to do our job, and that's what we really look for in a partnership where it's like, hey, it is a team and a true partnership at the end of the day where you shouldn't have to be the guy sifting through all the people to find the gold. It's like, let us take care of that for you and just you do what you do best.
With the right team, that works. With the right team, that works. You
Right.
just need, to fine-tune the personalities and get the right people in the room. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. So if we may, and you don't mind me asking this, I hope, is if we can get into some of the numbers here, because I know this is a $1 million listing, right?
Sure.
In terms of the rough commissions that you would generate back from this client once the property ultimately sells, what does that maybe look like for you?
Do some quick idiot math. It will likely, it's funny, it will likely sell for it's literally, I think it's $1 million. I listed it for $1,050,000.
Yeah.
It's worth $1.2 million.
Right.
In this market, what sells for $1.2 million should sell for somewhere around $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
10% of $1 million is $100,000. Cut
Yeah.
that in half. $50,000 in Ontario, it's 2.5 and 2.5. It's not really likely that I'll double end it, but it could be a $50,000 commission. If not, cut it in half.
Could be so about $25,000 generated back from the one deal.
Yeah.
Right. And I know you mentioned that they're considering a condo, but that's maybe not
possible.
entirely possible.
Entirely possible.
Right. Okay, cool. So you may walk away with the second side.
Say again.
You may walk away with that second side where you sell the
Yeah,
property, you
yeah,
get the one side, then you
yeah.
may help him with
Well,
another
it's
condo.
very likely a sell and a buy.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome, Terry. I'm super pumped for you. Now we got to rinse and repeat, bump the spend, and let's get a few of these every week.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
There we go.
Good to work with you.
No, and I appreciate you saying that, Terry, because you've been with us for a little bit. We've tried a few different strategies, but I wanted to ask because I know a lot of realtors are in a position where they get hammered by lead gen guys, marketers every single day, cold call, cold email, text, carrier, pigeon, you name it. So in terms of what it was that maybe had you take a leap of faith on this in the early stages,
It was very simple.
yeah.
It was you.
it was me.
That might be unfortunate. You're just good at what you do.
Yeah.
You come across very honest and straightforward.
Right.
You're sincere. You know, the only problem you've got is scaling up you.
Scaling up me. That's a problem for me to handle. I think our team is equally as skilled, if not more skilled than I am. So we're in a good. I hire people who are smarter than me. So I'm not even the smartest guy here.
Good.
Yeah. So it was me. That's amazing. And if I may ask, maybe even beyond that, Terry, what is it that you maybe loved the most about our program?
Just the diligence, just the understanding of the market, and the diligence. You guys are willing to get into the weeds and make it work.
Right. And when you say get into the weeds and make it work, what does that mean?
Well, we've sort of looked at a few ways of doing this,
Right.
and it wasn't perfect to start, and then it was tweaked, and then it was tweaked, and
Yeah.
and now we're hitting a stride, and it
Yeah.
takes. The old saying goes, it takes 3 years to get a business going. The real number, in my opinion, is 7. Okay? It takes you 7 years to get a business going,
Right.
to get up and flying.
Right.
So we've been working together. Nowhere near that. Has it even been a year?
Yeah, it's maybe on and off for that time, maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
So, to me, that's getting into the weeds and sweating the details and trying to find out the combination that works.
For sure. For sure. And just to preface that, I saw some hesitancy there where it's like, we've done some tweaks, and it's totally cool to say that, Terry, because I think one of the things that some people expect is, or good marketers will do, or good business owners they'll iterate, right? Where it's like sometimes out of the gate, hey, things might not, you might not, strike gold the very first time you're running a new campaign. But I want to give kudos to you, Terry, for also working with us to be adaptable and be open to coaching too, because it was an iterative process where we said, okay, we're going after these people, and then these sellers in this market. Then we really honed in on our areas. Then we really honed in on the people we want to target, who Terry resonates with. And that ultimately, the solution we came across was, hey, Terry works really well with downsizers. He's been through a similar process himself. That's a really congruent marketing experience. Yeah. And it just goes to show that we really dialed it in, because when you met with that person who was looking to downsize, you guys just clicked. And even when he said, hey, I've spoke to other realtors, you're the guy. Yeah. Right? So I want to give kudos to you for being willing and open to working with us as well.
Pleasure, man.
Right. So if I may ask, Terry, in terms of, we got the one in a few weeks here. Obviously now maybe we scale things up, or we look at what this could look like if we expand or grow more rapidly. Where do you kind of see this program taking you, say, for the next few months here for the remainder of 2025?
I mean, look, it's very hard to project in this market. I want a deal a month.
Yep.
Can we get it to a deal a month? I believe we can.
Yep.
The sales are a funny sort of game. I mean, I've got this listing now. I got to get this thing sold.
Yeah.
It's not jumping off the shelves, but Toronto is a challenging market. It is. People are selling, and people are buying.
Right.
But you got to be right in the slot.
Absolutely.
You just do.
Absolutely. 100%. And to your point,
right buyers, the right sellers, the right price.
Absolutely.
Timing. It
has to be lined up. And to your point, you're absolutely right. And I think the reason why this seller's timeline was tight and it was accurate was who we're actually going after. Because just like you mentioned, right, business keeps going. It never stops per se. It's just the reason why things slow down for some realtors and they're on that revenue roller coaster is because a lot of their business is referral and sphere based. But when we have now a system to hunt out the people who are actively searching things where it's like, I have to sell my home. There's the divorcees, the people who need to relocate for a job, or I'm moving, my mortgage renewal's up. There's all these pockets of people that we're hunting out. We're seeking these people to make sure their timelines are accurate.
Right.
Right.
It's everything.
Right. Right. Absolutely. So if I could maybe ask just one or two kind of final questions for you, Terry. This is a selfish question for me. Imagine there's another realtor who's watching a video like this, and they're maybe in a similar position as you, where they're successful in their own right. They've been doing real estate a long time. They want to go after a very specific demographic. Maybe for you, that's downsizers, right? What would you say to that person who's kind of on the fence, who's like, hey, I don't know about this Aaron guy, or I don't know about Lead Gen Pros. What would you say to that person if you were in their shoes?
Well, I think I've said it. I've been pretty clear so far. So at the risk of being repetitive, I would tell a realtor that you give a shit, that you sweat the details, you're not afraid to iterate and work a program over to get it to where it belongs. It's not a waste of money. You just need to get in and not be afraid, right? You have to.
Right.
It's hard. You have to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's the grindy grind.
Right.
And you're not afraid to do that. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
No, and I appreciate you saying that, Terry. Just as we kind of wrap up here, are there any final remarks you'd like to say about either yourself, about us, about me, or as a company? Anything about your experience? Anything you want to wrap up on? Any final notes?
Just give it a go. There's only one way of growing a business, and that's by scaling. You need help. You need a team. So I've been, looking for a partner like you, and so far it's working. It's been hard. It always is. It won't be easy ever. So, it's final thoughts.
Final thoughts, Terry. No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for all the high praise. Appreciate you saying that. And that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Terry Motionberg, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Terry. Terry, thanks so much for jumping on, man.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Oh, me? No, you're too much, Terry. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you all on the next one. Bye now.
See ya.